Rawr! Tell me I won't protect myself and my own domain to f you up. It's Leo season. You have been warned. Content is explicit.
Damn, girl! It's Bewitching Hour, our new monthly bonus episode,
Where we discuss the magical and the mystical happenings of the world.
or sometimes the unworldly dumb things people do, like me and Kay.
We are joined by Amy here and also
Jake the Snake!
Jake the motherfucking snake returns.
Are you guys ready for this?
I'm here, y'all.
He came to the hottest place in the world. Dun dun dun.
My
Feature on
snake is
episode.
roasting here.
It's shedding its skin.
It's like a s'more on the fire.
I hope it don't shed a skin.
It is hot as hell.
Yeah, I'm loving it though, y'all.
All
You
right.
love the heat?
I like the heat without the sweat. It's like such a cute.
He
And
is
there's
crazy. He laid outside for
mosquitoes.
20 minutes yesterday, and I was like, you could pass
No, I
out.
did 2 segments of 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Kevin used to do that shit. He used
So
to
I
be
did
like a
20
goddamn
minutes
master.
and I went back out in 20 minutes.
A lobster.
Lobster.
All right, listen, give me my phone back because I got to read our horoscopes. So we're going to do Jake the Snakes first because he's our resident guest today.
Yeah.
The favorite in the
Okay,
house, because there's only 3 of us.
He's our only
Thanks,
fan.
guys.
Or literally only fans.
Only fans. They pay me a lot.
His
Champagne.
feet are just that great.
We're glad to have you back, though.
Should
I've
do
been
mine.
excited
Okay,
all week.
January 26th,
All right.
that is.
July 27th, and we have Aquarius. Here you go, Jake. Here's today, July 27th. It's a lovely day to take your significant other out on a spontaneous date.
Me?
No,
Who, me?
we're talking about Jake.
I know, but his significant other, me.
Oh.
Me?
For now,
It's
until he
Marvin, I'm
comes.
pretty
Because I mean, who else is he going to take out?
Wearing your heart on your sleeve can strengthen your connection with your partner. So be as romantic as you can.
He did make me orzo salad for lunch.
Oh, yes.
Especially because you want to feel like a teenager in love.
You know
We
what? That's so
we
true.
were teenagers and we always went out for moo lattes from Dairy Queen.
Aww.
It's
Remember
Skip
back
high
in the
school.
day?
All right, Ames, ready for yours? Gemini.
Okay.
Use your excellent communication skills and meet new talented people. Attend as many social and cultural events as possible and make your ideas known. All eyes will be on you today as your aura lights up every room you enter.
Wow.
It was blinding me today, so.
Was it?
I told you.
Blinded by
Tone it
the
down.
light.
Oh, I had to tone it down.
I know Jake knows this.
I do not. I haven't had the time to listen to the news because I'm so frazzled with my new job.
Well, I'm proud of you because usually I'm on the news blackout, even though it's my job, and you're on
She
it.
didn't do shit all day. The least she could have watched is some TikToks about these UFOs.
You know that bitch was watching TikTok on how to do her job.
Who doesn't have time for TikTok? Go on the pooter, honey. Just sit down and watch them.
I don't know. I feel extremely busy to be doing nothing lately. Is that wrong?
Aliens! This is legit news, Ames. 3 government officials testified in front of the House Oversight Committee on the National Security Subcommittee, an alleged covert government program not only to reverse engineer but to recover unidentified spacecraft.
Oh, I think it's cool, definitely, and it's exciting.
I'm not done.
Can we just not talk about it?
The military, as we know, has reported hundreds of unexplained, unidentified, anomalous phenomena, aka UAPs. All right, we've covered this before when we covered aliens.
I think it was last time Jake the Snake
when
was here.
Last time Jake the Snake was here, exactly. And what is it with you and alien? Are you an alien? Are you bringing this to us? So
I used to be an alien.
She still is. Don't worry.
From a former life, or what? Are you?
I was literally an alien. From the government, they recognized me as an alien.
and
A resident alien. That's what they call immigrants when you're not like a full-on
can't.
citizen.
oh yeah, they did. Okay, I
Clap
now.
back, my dad joke. Banging.
That was
so bad.
horrible. I love you. I hate it. This bitch loves me
You
for
will
that.
laugh at it later.
Oh, God.
right, so there is a Pentagon.
You guys paused. You were freaked out.
I mean,
I was like, what is she gonna say next? Make sure she's
just fucking with us anyway.
She's looking crazy right now.
All right, there's a Pentagon task force about this, the unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Anomalous?
Why do they gotta use such big words? All right, so now these three officials have come forward, okay, and they actually testified of this quote-unquote non-human activity that we've known about it since the 1930s. Was quote-unquote a national security problem because military veterans are calling on the government to share what it knows with Congress and the public.
That's cool.
Do you think we are, though?
No.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think we get approved right.
What?
How long have they been fighting for this?
Probably a long time, but they've been squashed as quacks and weirdos by the government.
People have been like picked off too.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. And you covered it on Aliens.
Yeah.
You covered it about how the government creates shit over here and over here to make us want to believe other
Oh,
narratives.
you liked my alien
I
tape?
did. I loved your alien coverage.
Why do you think they can't come
I
up
didn't
with
think
the
you
budget
liked
for
my
the
alien
Pentagon?
coverage.
Exactly. They're spending on aliens.
They're hiding billions of dollars going to the subsection of. You might have mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned that in there.
Yeah.
There's
What?
like a
Go
whole
ahead.
like segment that focuses its energy and money and resources on aliens.
Yep.
But that we don't even know about. Like,
Oh,
the
there's so
public
much shit
doesn't
we don't know about.
But like that's
Oh.
where they're hiding the money
The
they
money.
can't account for. Or they don't want to tell us.
It's like they're laundering it through the alien account, basically. Yep.
I mean, I know that's true. It's just sometimes you're like, God damn.
And again, the Pentagon, of course,
we
is
are.
The world
denies-
ending. I want to stop working. I want to enjoy my
Well,
retirement.
same.
Pull my
Yeah, that's
retirement savings out and have a little fun.
Exactly.
That's why I think sometimes I'm like, do I need a retirement at this point? What?
No, we're just gonna go win the burning flames or however this ends. You know what I mean? I don't know how
But
we're
once you
gonna
want to
go.
live large, we could be on a yacht right now doing this.
I would absolutely love to be on a
So
yacht
should
right
we
now.
get one?
Yes, on your credit card. Thanks.
In the middle of the desert. Let's get a yacht. Let's go to yacht shopping.
We'll just build it Noah's Ark style. The rains are coming. Climate change.
So is there more on this?
Well, there's the Department of Defense, like, again, denying everybody's claims in the government and making them dumb, saying they haven't seen anything that's of, quote, alien origin. But NASA, good for them, plans to release its own findings later this summer.
That's awesome.
And I fucking hope NASA does because they're the motherfuckers out there seeing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
So
go NASA.
it'd be interesting to know the dynamic between NASA and like
Congress.
Congress
Or
yeah.
the Pentagon.
Yeah,
They
thanks for
hate
fill-
each other. From what
Yeah.
I understand, right?
Well, because they're very science lens, and then Congress is very wherever
never
the
wanted
wind
to
blows
spend the
that
money
gets my
there.
pocketbook fuller.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Economic based.
Shortly after, so tying in with the alien whole UFO thing, July 26th, Mitch McConnell freezes during press conference. He's
Why?
81 years old.
Speaking of
If you've
aliens,
seen
he
that
looks like
video,
one.
Oh my
Wait, he's
God.
81?
He's 81.
I mean, he looked gross in number one, but, like, I didn't know he's that old.
Oh, goddamn turtle.
He's a Senate Republican leader. Yeah, turtle head, people used to call him. Who had a
Turtles live
serious.
forever.
Do you remember? Sorry, not to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but remember when John Oliver made a competition who could send a turtle picture in that looked the most like McConnell?
No, but I need to see it right now.
Yeah, this 81 fucking year old fucking state Republican leader in the Senate. He had a serious fall earlier in the year and was temporarily unable to speak during the news conference.
When has he ever
He
been
like
able to speak with that
literally
throat?
went like silent. His eyes were like, I don't know, looked like he was
Having a
Fucking
seizure.
seizure.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. So it's raising questions about his health and his future. And I said, no shit, because he's got to go.
I mean, won't we be kind of hashtag celebrating when he's
A
gone?
little bit. Hashtag yes.
He's so
He definitely
evil.
lost his train of mind, but like, yeah, like, I don't have any remorse for him. But
I
like,
don't, because he's...
Get the fuck out. You've
Look at
affected
how
so many
he's
people's
treated
lives.
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
He's just...
Like,
Gross.
it has the highest opioid rates, the highest amounts of poverty,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
and he keeps getting elected, and I feel like it's a little bit...
Well, he's just cashing the checks from the drug
Well,
companies,
and it's
like
also-
Merkin and
But he's not gonna live that long to even touch this money. Like, what the
Why
fuck?
would
do
you
need all this
want
money
your
for?
legacy to be like, I helped all these people, then I like decimated the world?
So yeah, there's to add to this whole like event. If you look at the video, there's some like like people are like trying to figure this out too. Is like there's a lady on the left that walks up.
Okay.
She speaks to this one dude, and then she weasels her way up to Mitch, and like taps him on the arm with something in her hand, and that's when he instantly stops speaking.
Cool.
And then she touches him again, and he's like frozen there. So like people are like
For how
wondering
long?
like
Which...
what he was doing.
Maybe he was just not used to a woman being assertive.
No, but like
With the
when he was
little turtle
speaking,
face.
he was speaking on the like little stand, the podium. And she
Yeah,
just,
but
like,
when
comes up.
but you think being him, he has years of speaking experience. So why was he startled? You think after that?
I don't know. There must have been something more than just a touch. Like I don't. They're thinking.
Oh,
like,
it was the conspiracy
a
that she
hypnotist, or like she
Which?
injected him with something, or it was like a.
Well, he's not dead, so we're kind of
Sadly. So
Shit out of luck here.
it's rumored that his body has even maybe been taken over by aliens a
There
few
we
years
go.
back, and he's
Um,
beginning to show some signs and symptoms that have
Oh,
now
I
been
w-
caught on camera.
I think this is ridiculous.
His eyes
What
really
the-
back and just had extreme hungry for salty pickles.
Who?
And excessive
Okay.
sweating, they said.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
This seems like a QAnon theory, and I thought QAnon would have a hard on for him.
I mean, I probably do. That's where the pickles come into play.
Mm-hmm.
This is not.
So that part is fake.
I was gonna say.
Just to tie it into the whole alien
whole
thing.
aliens. I
Could,
think-
you'd never know, right? I mean,
He's 80. I have some commentary to say on this, though.
let's go.
commentary it up, honey.
So, I
That was good.
fully
I had beer in my
believe
mouth. I couldn't
in
do it.
a big
Anyway.
argument is when people complain about Joe Biden's age is ageist, but I don't think it. And I know we should, and sometimes our country doesn't respect elders as a culture. I definitely respect the wisdom, but I also feel like when it comes to constituting laws and they don't know our general workforce, even my mom, who hasn't worked for like probably 15 years, when I tell her about jobs, it was like interesting the other week. She's like, wow, jobs are just so different than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, it's a whole different type of, she's like, those, because obviously none of these jobs used to exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like telling my mom a little bit about my job, and she was like, wow, it's just so weird to think about that's a job, because like in my day, there were all different types of jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like even if you're like very progressive, but I don't think you are in touch with like the everyday people. I'm not saying elders don't have wisdom, but I don't think they should be the ones constituting the laws that affect majority of the people are like way younger than them and they haven't worked in the work system. And I was like, this is a broken system, and it always will. I'm not
Yeah, it
saying
always will
electing
be.
someone younger is going to make things better, but I was like, it's time to hand all over, like, Mitch McConnell, he's 80. He doesn't know what it's like to go to a workplace anymore. Like, they didn't have internet when he was working.
That's so weird to even think
An
about.
old school
But that's a good
mentality.
point.
Like, how is he governing? Because he's out of touch. Even though he has it now, it's like you don't know what it's like to be in the workforce anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
And
all
ho-
gotta
and
go.
what-
They-
People want. And that stuff is just so annoying to me.
Yeah.
I have an ending to Mitch. My ending to this whole thing is warm regards, bastard.
Nice.
I don't
I like
get
it. Warm
That's
regards,
all.
just like
Bye. From Schitt's Creek.
yeah, exactly.
Best wishes.
Best wishes.
Warm regards.
Oh my god. So that's
exactly.
so I saw this video said that best is really passive, and I was like, I always use that in my email. All the best. Wish you the best, but never talk to me again. But Gen Z is very sensitive.
God, they're such pussies. No offense. Anyway,
And email signatures can piss you
Pussies
off.
are actually really strong.
I mean, I'm really
I
strong.
mean, as opposed to like balls.
True.
You
Yeah,
touch a
actually,
ball,
that's a very.
fucking jump.
Can we dissect that for a
Yeah,
second?
let's dissect.
The fact that society says then is like how much the vagina takes the beating,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really strong. But
Figuratively,
then,
yeah,
but it always
literally.
is like think of it as a weak thing. It's like the patriarchal side
It
It
society.
gives birth.
It does.
Hello, babies come out of the
I know.
fucking-
Yeah, and then it's weak. But then...
I'm like, you literally can flick my balls.
And you be bent over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't that show you, like, our... Even
Yeah.
how...
Male ego.
We've been indoctrinated. I have. Again, I had this in my master's class that I have been bastardized into blindness of the patriarchy. We're moving on to witchcraft. Are we ready? This is from businessinsider.com today. Have you guys heard of pardon the pronunciation, Hung Kao or Chow?
Well, how would we know
Is that-
compared to Joe?
Have you heard of him?
What
I don't
kind
know.
of dish is that? Savory?
Oh shit, Kung Pao. There is a GOP House nominee going up against another Democrat, or a Democrat in Virginia. His name is Hung Kao. And he warned in his recent interview with Business Insider that witchcraft is happening throughout California. And
Is he a Republican?
and we
course.
should all be worried. He's a Vietnamese refugee, by the way, and said he's African American because he lived in Africa. I can't.
Because he lived there?
Because he
Or-
lived in Africa. He said he is African American too. I have one more thing from him. He says there's a place in Monterey, California called Lover's Point. The original name was Lover's Christ Point, but now it's become, well, they took out the Christ and it's Lover's Point. It's really Monterey's dark point, a low place now. A lot of witchcraft and Wiccan happened there. It's really taken over there, end quote.
I have to dissect the first statement, though, because if you were raised... So, sorry, remind me. He was raised where? In Africa?
Half in Africa, half here.
Let's say, for example, I'm a British citizen, and for a long time I wasn't American, but I always said I was American.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between saying I'm a British American? Also, probably identified as being African if you grow up in a country there. Wouldn't you identify as that?
It depends on how long you were there.
I guess but 14 years is a long time to be somewhere and not say you're from there. I would consider myself an Arizonan, and I only lived here 9 years. I'm just trying to flip it for a second and say maybe it's a cultural thing. He doesn't understand what he's saying wrong.
He knows exactly what he's saying.
If you lived in Africa your half of your life and you said you're African and you lived in America half of your life, wouldn't you say...
There's a difference between citizenship, heritage, and roots. And race.
No, but if you live somewhere you consider... Wouldn't you not consider yourself an Arizonan and you haven't lived here that long?
I've been here 25 years, so yeah.
I know.
Or
I'm not
20.
trying to stand up for him. I'm just trying to flip the conversation. I'm not trying to...
I see what you're saying.
I still say I'm from Indiana.
Yeah, me too. And I was
No,
like...
I'm not disputing what you're saying. I see your point. I take it. However, I know this motherfucker knows exactly what he was doing. And I hate it because it's political theater, just like all these motherfuckers. And that's what he is doing.
But if you're from Africa in 14 years, I could see why you went... Why wouldn't you say I'm African?
But if that was the second place you moved to.
And you lived there for 10 years. I guess
lived in Baltimore 12 years. That doesn't mean I'm Baltimorean.
I know, but it's not
Yeah.
a cultural shift as much as like living
Right.
to a different country.
Yeah.
And I never had like official paperwork saying I'm American, but I always like if someone met me in another country, I always said, I'm American. We kind of talked about this at length last night, like how like it's always one side on the other side, like their heads are butting. It's always like my party feels this and my party feels that. And I'm just saying it's like sometimes looking at it from a different alternative. Maybe not this story.
1000%, because you know that's the whole premise of this whole thing is why I got into this. But like, all right, we're moving on to another witchcraft news. This is out of St. George, Utah. It's more of an opinion piece, but it's just talking about how witchcraft has gone mainstream, and this is kind of what we talked about in chakras a little bit. Actually.
What's mainstream?
Witchcraft. And it used to be a very marginalized, as we know, people were murdered around the women specifically, were murdered for just even being cited as a witch, even when they weren't, is now a multi-billion-dollar industry around the globe. And
I'm not surprised.
it's again, the phenomenon, like it takes...
Capitalism.
Exactly. It's all about capitalism and how... ancient rituals are now paired with people who are seeking that DIY alternative spiritual experience and practice, myself included. Like, I don't subscribe to any one major religion because like I don't want to. They're fucking rapists. Like, no, thank you. I'm good. But like that was a marginalization, broad stroke. I know, but like no. This became a multi-billion-dollar industry, so much so that there is a whole community called witchpreneurs now. And again, things like crystals, herbal remedies, candles, tarot cards, guilty. In addition to physical goods are in surging demand, and other spiritual devices, astrology, consultation, workshops, energy healing, all that shit. Very
I love this.
I do
Good,
too.
that's like good news to me.
We have this government that's not working for us, and so we have no control, even when people are like, vote, vote, vote. So people are grasping at straws, like, what can I reach out to?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's an all-time high. I'm not trying to discount spirituality. That's great. People want to work on themselves. But I also feel like it has to do with the times. You do feel a little bit like I have no control in what's going on these days. And I can imagine you would grasp at straws sometimes. Like maybe this crystal will make me feel better.
Yeah.
But I think that this type of spirituality, like witchcraft, stones, and that is more of mindfulness, and you're not sort of worshiping like a deity or
no, I
God
think it's
yeah.
I'm
yeah,
all
I think
for
it's,
it.
I think it's us. I think it's more of a thing of
well, I think also
looking inward, and it's like a calm.
and that's great. Like whatever works for people. I'm not against any of it. I just think also it makes sense with what's tracking in our news is like the world's gonna end. And it's like, and you feel like you have no control. A lot of people are not identifying anymore as religious people, so it's like, what can give me hope and like make me feel better, even if it's grasping at straws. It gives me hope, and like everyone needs hope. Like without hope, what's the point of everything?
Right.
I mean, I wish I was less of a realist and I could go out and get a crystal and make me feel good.
Well, so to that,
but it doesn't work
like,
for me.
Like crystals, do you like? If you can find like a moment just to look at the rock for like just 10 minutes and you get to notice certain things about the rock, and then you kind of like, it goes inward though, like it's deeper than just a rock. It's just like
I mean, whatever, if a rock makes people happy, go for it. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like we spend
it's
so
awesome.
much time bashing people down on their looks or what they choose to enjoy, and it's like if someone wants to get off to a rock and it makes them happy, I'm happy for them. Is the rock gonna work for me? Probably not, but I probably have my weird little things that make me happy.
She needs a big rock, y'all.
She does have a big deck. We know this.
Give me a reader. I'ma open. Give me some of that tequila. I'ma give you some. About to get freaky. I'ma put it in my
That's the whole point. I'm glad you guys are exactly on it. So the debate is if it's diluting the essence of being in nature and like loving nature as the mother, and like that's the deity is Mother Earth, versus commodifying spirituality, which we talked about at length in chakras last week or 2 weeks ago. You know, the commercialization of witchcraft, it puts practitioners at a crossroads. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to maintain the authenticity of it, or are you going to just dive into this shit that's fed to you, right? Like, what's the line? Maybe there isn't one. I don't know. It's very blurry. But for me, to Jake's point, I dove deep into fucking meditation. And yes, that includes incense. Yes, that includes oils and baths and prayer.
It's kind of weird that like I thought this was actually kind of fake, so I found another article to like back it up, and I was like,
I've
okay.
done that before. Yeah, you're like, this is too strange.
This is strange. So it's kind of world news. Like, let's take a journey to Israel now, because this is where it's at.
Religions.
So most of Israel's Israelis would believe their sexual preference and religious views are private issues, like most anywhere, that should have no bearing on their ability to access government services.
Amen.
But a standard test issued to many citizens.
I go back and forth on this one, but
getting
I'll
your
leave
driver's
finish.
license, trying to get your driver's license into it's basically demanding to know applicants' views on homosexuality, dramatics, and
What's that have to do with driving? Fuck that.
and like religion. So they're asking all these like personal questions.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with driving. It's like
Exactly.
literally like
Zero.
So the true or false questions appearing in the text include: I am very strongly attracted by members of my own sex. I've never been indulged in any
Who would ever
unusual
answer that?
sexual
What does that have
practices.
to do with anything?
I have often wished I were a girl, and I believe in the second coming of Christ.
No one's gonna answer that honestly.
Wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Is this
So,
this can't be real?
I read like 3 articles.
This
saying the
can't
same
be
thing.
fucking
I'm
real.
like, this is
I know, I believe
crazy.
you, but yeah, it's insane.
I did think so. Can I tell you something? So I don't know if you've ran into this, but and this has to do with your story. So I was applying for jobs, and a lot of times it asked me my sexuality, and I was like, why does it matter if I'm
Right.
gay
Right.
or straight? It's like, look at my credentials. And did you
Yeah.
ever run into that?
all the time.
That's
Like
so
lately,
crazy.
it's a weird.
Or like label your sex. Like, why is that about?
Yeah,
Right. Fuck
lately
you.
I've had companies ask me my sexuality, and I was like, "That's none of your fucking business."
None of your business.
Sex,
Fucking
gender,
business.
sexuality.
Like-
yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
So-
or your marital status and divorce is always down there. I'm like, first of all, who gives a fuck? Yeah, I'm divorced. Suck it. Like, just fuck you.
So
Anyway.
here's the recap on all this. The ministry has not clarified how the tests are scored and what impact these subjects' sexual and religious preferences have on their ability to obtain a license. So while the health ministry has acknowledged and the archaic nature of the test, it says it's unable to remove some of the questions, as it would lead to the cancellation of the recognition in the questionnaire.
what?
I have no idea, but I'm like, it just didn't make sense why they couldn't
essentially it's like-
So they said some PC question or PC answer that makes no goddamn sense, and they don't know how to cancel it.
Yeah.
Or they know how to cancel it, but they're trying to come up with some PC
Bullshit. I can't.
corporate. Oh, we can't do that because blah blah blah.
And if this isn't real, then whatever. But I was like, this is bizarre,
No, it
but
sounds-
it
it
seems
sounds
like
legit.
it would be something that happened.
Florida. I want to be surprised
I
if they
mean,
start doing that soon.
Florida. Fuck it. Santa's badass.
We gotta know what your preference is to drive.
I think DeSantis thought he was like big bad. I'm gonna win the presidential election.
I think he did.
and he's like polling at like what 3% or something.
If that. Back to religion. We all know Sinead O'Connor died. Did y'all know she was Muslim?
Oh,
I had no fucking idea.
really?
Me
I didn't
either.
really care.
We also have background music of Corey. Hey, we're now serenaded. We're sponsored by Corey Nicole.
I don't know who she is, but I'll just listen.
Anyway, so she died yesterday, but she converted to Islam. You don't know who she is?
Jacob told me earlier. I can't remember.
Jacob, do a little rendition.
I don't know.
You don't?
Isn't
It's
she like an actress?
no.
You told me about her
Singer.
earlier.
She's
She's a singer.
similar to the Cranberries gal who, to be fair, I mixed her up with earlier. But she does nothing compares to you. No.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well,
I know
anyway.
it, but your voice, no offense, didn't bring back memories.
Nobody's gonna say I'm her. She was Muslim though, even though she was super Irish. So 2018, she converted to Islam. It was super important to her life because she was super feminist and like all about like fuck the man. Her Muslim faith was omitted from her obituary, and critics are saying that the omission reflects the broader issues of religious representation across media coverage, which, to your point just now, makes total sense. However, the discussion surrounding this missing acknowledgement highlights the importance of being accurate in representation in obituaries. Just a nod to a recent passing of a very incredibly talented artist in religion. Finally, the belief in spiritual entities is at its lowest, according to a recent Gallup poll on July 20th.
I knew that for a long time. That's been happening.
Exactly. The majority of Americans still
It's
believe in
been
God,
happening.
angels, and heaven and hell and the devil. However, there's sharp declines in church attendance, confidence in organized religions check, fuck you, and religious identification.
Because they haven't kept up with the times.
Well, preach.
No.
And with that is the July crazy news of Bewitching Hour.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchedbanter@gmail.com. Credits, Music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast, edited and produced by Kristen Hinz and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.